Okay, in this video, we're going to create a virtual machine for Windows XP. Then on that virtual machine, we're going to install Windows Explorer 8. Then we're going to create another virtual machine uh, for Kali Linux. And then in Kali Linux, we're going to use the social engineering toolkit, and we're also going to use the credential harvester. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up Oracle VirtualBox. Just double click on that. And then go ahead and click on create a new virtual machine. Hit new. And then this one, we're going to go ahead and call it Windows XP. And you can leave that as Windows 32-bit and then hit next. And then for memory size, I recommend just leaving it as default, 192 megabytes. That should be more than enough to run it in case you're using a system that has limited memory on it. So we'll leave it like this at 192. Okay, so then go to next. And then we can leave this default as well. So it'll go ahead and create a virtual hard drive. Then go ahead and click create. And then for the file type, we'll leave it as VDI. Hit next. And we want it to be dynamically allocated. So then hit next. We'll leave this default as well. And then go ahead and click create. Okay, so now we have a virtual machine that is ready for installation of Windows XP. Now for this, we could either use a CD, an actual Windows XP disk. If you don't have a Windows disk, then what you can also use is the disk image file to go ahead and do that. So let me show you how to do this. So I have the image file. I have an ISO, so that's what I'm going to use. So then we can go to settings, and then under storage, then we click here, no disk image file selected, so we click there. And then here we can click this button, the CD icon, and then from here we can choose a virtual CD disk file. And then we go to desktop, and I happen to have an ISO of Windows XP Home Edition Service Pack 3. It's kind of hard to come by these days, but I happen to have one here. Just go ahead and click on that. Okay, so other settings that we'll need to make sure we set. Let's go to network, and then under adapter 1, let's go ahead and set it as a bridged adapter, because we're going to bridge this virtual machine and the next virtual machine we create for Kali Linux. So we'll set it that way. And then that should be it for the settings. And then there's nothing else here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. So then we'll hit OK. So then now we're ready to start the installation process of Windows XP. Alright, so you can either just press the start button, or you could just double click. Close this out. If you've installed Windows XP before, then this screen should look pretty familiar to you. The nice thing about running it off an image file or an ISO is that it loads very quickly. And then if you get any pop-up messages, just go ahead and close them out. And then here we'll press the the enter key, and then we agree to the terms and conditions, so then we press F8, and then we install it, press enter, so that we install it on the unpartitioned space. Then we leave format the partition using the NTFS file system. And then it'll start formatting. And it should load up pretty quickly if you're running it off a disk image file. If you're running it off a CD, it might take a little longer. Okay, so then the installation should have been finished. Go ahead and let it load up for the first time. And then we'll go ahead and configure Windows. Okay, so once we get to the regional language options, we can just press here, we can press next. And then for the name, go ahead and use put in your user ID name, organization, the class name, and then here we don't have a product key. We're going to be running this off a trial. In order to get to the trial mode, just press next. Then you get this message here. And then here, do you want to enter your product key? The answer is no. Okay, here under the computer name, go ahead and enter your username as well. And then make sure you're under Central Time. Hit next, and then go ahead and let it install. And then for network settings, typical settings. Okay, so here we can go ahead and press next. Help protect your PC? No. We want it as vulnerable as possible, so we'll go ahead and hit not right now. Next. Yes, this computer will connect through a local area network. Hit next. Activate Windows? No. No, remind me every few days. Next. And then for the name, put your first name. Hit next. And then hit finish. Okay, so finding Windows Internet Explorer version 8 is kind of a difficult process. The thing is that Windows no longer supports it, but I was able to find it in one place. So let me show you how to get to it. In the instructions, I had a different URL, but that's not going to work anymore. Okay, so go ahead and open up the Internet Explorer that comes with XP, which I believe is version 7. Right, so we'll need to change that to version 8. So we can go to this website here, HTTP FTP. So just copy this URL here and then hit go. And then here though you'll find some older versions of browsers. The one we want is going to be IE8 Windows XP x86 -enu.exe. So go ahead and click that. You can hit save. We can save it to the desktop and then go ahead and let it download. Okay, so you can click on open folder. Okay, never mind. We can close that out now. And here's the installation file. So just go ahead and double click on that. Hit run. I do not want to participate. Hit next. Accept. We do not want any updates. Hit next. And then go ahead and let it install itself. Okay. It looks like it was successful. Go ahead and restart now. Okay, so let's see if we have the new Internet Explorer 8 installed on this machine. It looks like we do. Okay, there you go. And here you can just do ask me later. Okay, so now that we have our XP machine set up, we'll go ahead and now create another virtual machine for Kali Linux. So for now, we can go ahead and close this out. We'll reopen it again later. And then you can go ahead and minimize this. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is create a virtual machine for Kali Linux. Okay, so here in the VirtualBox Manager, let's go ahead and click on um, let's see, hold on real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on new, and then for the name we're going to call it Kali Linux. And then for the version, we're going to pick Debian 32-bit. And then go ahead and click next. We'll go ahead and leave the recommended memory setting for now. If you notice any sort of issues, like it's too slow or anything, we can go back and adjust it. But for now, let's leave it as default. That way we make sure we don't run out of memory on the actual host computer itself. So hit next. Create a virtual hard drive, 8 gigabytes, yes. We'll use VDI as well. It'll be dynamically allocated, 8 gigabytes, and then hit create. Okay, so now with the Kali Linux machine selected, go to settings. Let's go ahead and go under system, and then under processor, click enable PAE NX. Okay, and then go to storage, and then here on the disk icon, go ahead and click there, and then under CD DVD drive, again I'm going to be using a disk image. So go ahead and choose a virtual CD DVD disk file, and I'm going to pick this one here. It's Kali Linux 1.0.6 i386, so I'm going to click that one. Okay, and then under network, I'm going to switch this to bridged adapter. Okay, and then hit OK. And then we're going to power on the machine. Make sure you have your Windows XP machine also powered on. So now we're going to power this one as well. You can just double click on it. Close out any messages that appear. And then here, rather than installing Kali Linux, we'll just go ahead and run it off. We'll run it off live, off the live disk image. Later on in another lab, we'll be required to install it. But for now, we can go ahead and just run it live like this. So select the first option, and then press enter, and then Kali Linux will boot up. And then we can also minimize the VirtualBox Manager. Close this out, and then we can have both machines running next to each other simultaneously. That's a nice thing about virtual machines. So just go ahead and let Kali load up. It takes a little bit to boot up, but once it does, we can start using it. Okay, so it might already be ready to run. So let's go ahead and go up to the upper menu bar here. Go to Applications, go to Accessories, and then Terminal. And then here we need to find the IP address for this machine. So we can do if config Press enter. Okay, so then this number is going to be the IP address. So we can go to select that and copy it. Okay. So then now we are ready to set up the social engineering toolkit. So from terminal, from here, we can just do SE tool kit and then press enter. Do you want to agree to the terms of service? Yes. Okay, so now we're presented with a menu. So let's go ahead and press option 1. And then we're going to select website attack vectors, which is going to be number 2. Then we'll need an attack module from the attack module menu. We'll need Metasploit browser exploit method, which is going to be number 2. Okay, and then we will need web templates, so that'll be number 1. And then do we want port forwarding? The answer is no. Okay, so IP address or host name for the reverse connection. That's where we're going to paste the IP address we had just copied earlier. So just go ahead and hit paste there. And then press enter. And then for this one, we'll choose option 3, Google template. And then the exploit we're going to select, if we scroll up a little bit, we want option 1, which is going to be Internet Explorer CD display pointer. We're going to want that one there. So then just go ahead and type the number 1, press enter. And then we're going to use Windows Reverse TCP Meterpreter. So that's number 2. The port we'll use for the reverse will be 5555. Press enter. Okay, so then just go ahead and wait until the web attack server has started up. So it's going to take a little bit. Okay, so the server started. Okay, so now we can go ahead and open up Internet Explorer 8. Go and let that load up. And then here in the address bar, type the address that we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to type, let's try the IP address. The IP address for the Kali Linux machine. Okay, and then press enter. Okay, so the payload started. So just give it a few seconds. So it's setting up. Okay, so now session is open. Yeah, so several sessions will open up. Just go ahead and wait a little bit. Okay, so maybe we press enter. Okay, so now that we have established a connection with the system, the first thing we're going to want to do is start the keylogger. So then we can do sessions dash I 1. Okay, so then interpreter started. So then now we can do key scan start. So key scan underscore start. Okay, so now the keystroke sniffer has started. So then now on the Windows XP machine, we can go ahead and we can right click on the desktop, new, and then we're going to want a new text document. And we can call the document sniffed text. So then double click on it so we can start typing into it. Okay, so then in Notepad, go ahead and type your first name, last name, the name of the class, and then we can just put something like my keystrokes are being logged. Okay, so it should have recorded those keystrokes. So then now we can return back to the Kali Linux machine. Keep in mind this exploit will also work over a network too, but just to make it easier for me to record a video on one screen, I'm using the virtual machines. But if you're using live disks and running it on a real network, you can also do all this as well. So then type key scan dump. Right, so then here's the captured keystrokes. Right, so that was the name of the text file. There's my name. I made a mistake, so then I hit the back key. So it's there recording the keystroke. So if somebody would enter their password for a website, it would go ahead and record that. Okay, so that way you can submit this as part of your assignment. Go ahead and click here on the title bar. We'll go ahead and print screen, or you could also use the snipping tool. We could try that. Let's try the snipping tool if you have it. If not, you can just print screen. So the snip tool, and this is actually running on the host machine, right? So then I can go ahead and just select this here. Okay, and then just you can save this to the desktop. So maybe capture 1, save it, and then we can go ahead and insert that when we're ready to a Word document and then paste it there. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Okay, so just to prove that you accomplished the task. Okay, and then from there we can also do some other things too. From the Kali Linux machine, go ahead and type another command. Use espia, which is spy, which is the word for spy in Spanish. Use espia, and then screen grab one word, press enter, and then a screenshot of the machine that we've compromised shows up here. Alright, so then you can do another screenshot as well if you want to use the snipping tool again. So I'm just going to select that, and then file save as. We'll say this is capture 2. and then hit save. Go ahead and close this out. Okay, so then now we have our two documents. So um, we're done with the screen grab and the keystroke logger. Now we can move on to the last part of the lab, which will be the credential harvester attack. Okay, so let's go ahead and restart the social engineering toolkit. So go ahead and close this out. We can close this out as well because now we're going to use a different exploit. Go back to applications. I'm sorry, accessories, and then terminal. Okay, and just in case you need to find the IP address again, save that to the clipboard. Okay, so here we're going to start the social engineering toolkit again. Okay, so now we're going to do option 1. Then we'll have website attack vectors again. But then this time we'll use number 3, the credential harvester attack method. Number 3. Then we'll use option 2, the site cloner. Then we'll go ahead and paste the IP address we copied earlier. Go ahead and paste that there. And then the URL to clone, we'll do Facebook. Facebook.com. Okay, so a clone of the website should be generated. Just give it a few moments. Okay, so go back to the Windows XP machine. Let's close out the browser. Open a new browser. Okay. And then here we're going to enter the IP address of the Kali Linux machine. So that was the 192.168.1.132. And then now you see this IP address belongs to this machine here. But all of a sudden, okay. So then here we can enter a username. So let's say I enter something like this. And then my password. And then I'm going to try to log in and see what happens. Right, so then you see here, it captured my information. And there's also some errors going on this machine. But you see it got my password, it got my email, and this is a fake website. Okay, so once you have that, you have the login and the password. Go ahead and get your snipping tool. Go ahead and cut this out here and then save this as well. And then maybe we'll call this capture 3. Okay, so then we finished this lab. We minimize everything. Open a Word document. And then now we'll go ahead and insert our pictures. Maybe we can insert them all at once if we just select them all. There you go. They're all inserted. So then you can submit this document to Blackboard and then get credit.